Good evening, kings and queens. Good evening, everybody. Hope that everybody's having a fabulous Sunday. Looking to come on for 7 minutes here, talk to everybody for a moment. Just hope that everybody's had a great day. Some of you have been to church and worship. Some of you are spending time with your family right now. Just wanted to come in and say hey to everybody for 7 minutes. Hey, I see Brenda. Hey, Brenda. How you doing, beautiful? Yes. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Teresa. Good evening, everybody. Again, I'm just going to be on here for 7 minutes. Wanted to talk to everybody about an idea I thought about, and the idea basically when people say that you're a piece of work, what do you think about that? Is there a negative connotation applied to being a piece of work? Well, today I wanted to talk to you about it and just let you know that we're all a piece of work. And when I thought about this, I thought about going from a piece of work to a work in progress. So I got to thinking about the topic, and I was thinking about how you make a quilt. And when you're making a quilt, it's important that you start with cutting tools. Okay, so each piece of fabric in your quilt must be cut evenly. Regular sewing scissors may work, they're great, but there are other tools that you can cut with also that can make the job easier and faster. You also need a ruler. You're going to need some safety pins, thread, fabric. Those are some things that you're going to need also to make a quilt. Now, I've tried it before. I'm not a great quilt maker, but I know that there is intricate and you have to be precise in making your quilt. So one of the things that I learned about quilting is that you have to cut the patchwork, you have to iron the patchwork, and then you have to sew the patchwork. So just like in the process making of a quilt, all of us are a piece of work. We have to be cut, number one, meaning that we have to hurt, fall, be damaged, or wounded. So we all have to be cut just like a quilt. The second thing is that once we realize that we're cut, we begin to get ironed out. That means removing the wrinkles or people from our life that do us no good. We have to start solving our problems. This is the way that we're ironing ourselves out. We begin to deal with the cut by ironing ourselves out. Once we realize that we've ironed everything out, then we begin with the sewing process. Now, the sewing process is where we begin the mending. Mending. Your quilt is going to be made up of different fabric, different difficulties or challenges, which are going to make each piece of your quilt different and perfect at the same time. However, when you mend each one of those pieces together, you realize that those different difficulties or those challenges, they begin to make you a piece of work. Now, being a piece of work, there is nothing wrong with it, because in the end, we realize that from being a piece of work, from being cut, from being ironed out, from being sewed together, now we become a masterpiece. Being a masterpiece is fabulous in itself, because we realize that we've had to go through some things to get where we are. So being that masterpiece is phenomenal. The finished product will one day be something that you're going to acknowledge, share with your friends, share with your family and your associates, and people then they're going to look up to you, and they're going to all wonder, well, how did she get through that? How did she do that? Let me tell you something. There are 3 things that I want to share with you that are decorative ideas for your quilt. 3 things. Number 1, think about how you're going to display your work. How are you going to display your quilt? Don't walk around feeling defeated because you went through something. Keep your head held high and a smile on your face. People are going to wonder how you made it through. You just let them know, I was a piece of work who's now a work in progress. Number 2, look at your reflection in the mirror. Do that from time to time. Watch how your vision of yourself changes. In other words, pay attention to you. The 3rd thing, put yourself on display. Find friends, acquaintances, groups that support the masterpiece in you. There's greatness inside of you. And let others know who you are. You can't let others know who you are by staying inside. Let the masterpiece out. Put the masterpiece on display. Just remember that people are misinformed about a piece of work. We're all a piece of work. And that means that we're all a work in progress. And as we turn into a masterpiece, we learn to master peace. Hey, I want to thank all of you for joining me this evening. I love each and every one of you that support me. I'll see you next Sunday as we talk about Father's Day and our fathers. Bless you all. Thanks for joining me.